Hello everybody, welcome to Bear Or. This is the series where we invite our guests to come on the show to be real, to be raw, to share with us what's going on underneath, share with us their stories, their struggles and their triumph. The reason for us sharing with this story is because we want to be able to inspire you to inspire change. I'm very glad to be able to share this with my co-host, Dr. Martha Sarali. Martha, are you there? Would you like to introduce yourself to the audience, please?
Yes, hi everyone. My name is Martha. I'm a relationship counselor and clinical sexologist. I've been in practice for 11 years. I also run workshops, and you can find me at eroscoaching.com.
Thank you so much, Martha. And I'm Carol Gockel. I'm a confidence coach and change maker. And you can connect with me at www.carolgockel.com. Now, today we have a very interesting guest. She is a fun-loving person. She likes to drink, she likes to eat, and she enjoys having fun. And then what's most important is she advocates loving without boundaries. And she put all this, her life and all her experiences on a lifestyle blog. And let us welcome our special guest today, Janice. Janice, would you come and say hi to the audience, please? Janice, hello.
I'm here. Hello. Hi. So cute. I'm Janice, and I'm a mom of one. He is 3 years old now, my son. And so I have a blog for over 8 years. And I write about my lifestyle, about traveling and beauty products, as well as motherhood for the past few years since my son arrived. So the blog grows with me. It's on Janiqueel.com, JANIQUEEL.com. So I write about solo traveling without my child, as well as solo traveling with my young toddler at the same time. So it's like places you can go in Bali that is kids friendly, cafe or beach club, etc., which is very important for moms or dad traveling solo with their child. It'll help them a lot easier.
Yeah, I like that, Janice, because I'm a mom myself. I have 2 kids, aged 9 and 7, and to be very frank, traveling with kids, it's a huge hassle. I have 2, and it's just crazy, and it's actually good, to have a resource like what you are doing right now to help people to understand where are the places that are actually kids friendly, because there's not a lot of information out there. There are all those romantic getaways and so on and so forth. But there's nothing, that's actually kids friendly. And a lot of the times when it's kids friendly, they talk about putting the kids in the kids club. Like, how boring is that, right?
Yeah. Exactly. I don't put my son in kids club. I take him along with him. He's 3 years old.
He's 3 years old. Wow.
Yeah. So it's a fun age, and definitely, yes, there is kids club for parents to get away from the kids. But when I'm traveling solo with him, I don't want to be away from him, you see. Yeah, it's very ironic. But unless I travel on my own, yeah, sure that I'll leave him with my good mother in Singapore to help me watch him. Yes, and that's where I can get away without my child completely, not just throw him at a kids club.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, yes.
And also like things to like how to pack with a young toddler. You can actually pack light. Yes. There's a lot of things you can do. It's not only about where you can go, but how you're going to pack. You have a stroller for a young kid stroller, diaper bags, luggage. So if I'm traveling alone with him, how am I going to handle it? So there is ways to do it.
Awesome. Yeah. And I understand you mentioned earlier that you are a single mom.
Yes.
How has this journey been for you, being a single mom, raising your child on your own?
Well, it's like a roller coaster, right? There's ups and downs for sure, and difficult times. But I'm very blessed to have a child that is surprisingly easy. Yeah, he doesn't throw much tantrum, and when he does, it's with good reason, like lack of sleep, hungry. It's reasonable. It's not like out of no reason he wants attention, because I work from home. So I can give him a lot of attention. I don't work 9 to 5 away from him. So I want it this way, working from home, because I want to watch him grow up. So I have to choose, a full-time job with security, stable pay, or something that is not very stable, but then I can spend more time with him. So I have to choose. So I chose the latter, which is to work from home. Not so stable sometimes, but I realize now during COVID-19, a lot of people require content generators, and I write a lot of content. So I don't only write on my blog, I also write on some Korean beauty website and other beauty website and travel as well. So it's great. Yeah.
So I know that you work very hard as a single mom. So can you tell us more the backstory of your child, how you got pregnant, and you know what's happening with the issue of the maintenance from the father?
Okay, so I met the father 4 years ago, just before I got pregnant, and it was just like a one night stand. We're not in a long relationship, not longer than 1-2 months, a few months. So I met him in Singapore, and he is residing in Hong Kong. So we had great time, and then we go separate ways. And then I found out that I was pregnant. And the best of all is I found out after the first trimester has passed, because I have irregular menstrual cycle, which is common for me since day one of my menstrual cycle. Is I only have my period every 3 to 4 months. Yeah, so I was very blessed and fortunate. There was no morning sickness, nothing. So I completely unaware that I was already pregnant. I had a little bun in the oven for 3 months. And the only time I realized something is not right is when I noticed my areola turn darker. And never in my life of having period and menses, my areola would turn dark. No, I will feel bloated, which is the same symptoms as menses and pregnancy. So bloatedness, etc. Very similar, just no morning sickness, which is great. And then I went to the clinic with my mom. I told her that I could be pregnant. So she said, let's go to the clinic now. So we went, and true enough, it showed positive, and I was pregnant for like 3 months. I was so, oblivious, and I didn't know I was pregnant. And in fact, I thought I was not bloated, like fat, that I put on weight, that I have a little bump in my stomach, like very tiny little bump, because I exercised a lot before I got pregnant, and during my first trimester, I exercised even more because I thought I put on weight. So there's a chance that I could have miscarriage because I was doing like crunches, burpees, I was rolling on the floor. I did everything that could have caused me to miscarriage, but hell no, I did not, because it's meant to be, I guess. So yeah, seriously, I really did a lot of crunches just because I thought I was fat, which is ridiculous. It's like I was so pregnant. And the journey was smooth. I even went hiking when I was pregnant, about 6 months pregnant. I went to Hong Kong and did a 3-4 hours hike with my friend. And she was very worried. She was telling me, I don't even know why I agreed to go with you. If anything happened to you in the middle of this mountainous area here in Hong Kong, how are we going to get you to the hospital? I said, don't worry, we'll go at my pace. I know I'm very pregnant, visibly pregnant at 6 months old already, so people could see. And then I took my time, and the fresh air was great for me and my son. It's something you don't really get in Singapore unless you go to the reservoir or really out of the city. So in Hong Kong, it was out of the main city in Hong Kong. So it's quite far away. So I was safe, nothing happened to me. Something could have, but no. And it's a fun time. And I danced a lot during my pregnancy as well, like excessively, I would say. Not if, now after pregnancy, I don't dance as much as I was in pregnancy when I was pregnant. Strange. So now my son, when he listens to music, he will dance as well. He will move to the beat. It's probably something I have done right during the pregnancy, I guess, because he's been exposed to all the music and the rhythms, and I'm moving a lot. So it's like earthquake for him. I don't know. But yeah, so that's what I do during my pregnancy.
Yeah, so thank you for sharing. As those of you who are watching can tell, Janice is a very healthy and bubbly personality, and it's great that you were younger and also healthy. So then everything went smoothly for you. I'm happy for you. So it is a choice to the sacrifices that you made so that you can be a stay-home mom and also watch your child grow. And you have to juggle a lot of things like finances, and I imagine that it's not easy for you. So I suppose being a single mom in Singapore is really not easy. There must be people who are ignorant, who are judgmental, who might have said mean things to you. But I know that you're this beautiful, strong, amazing person. So can you share with us a little bit about how all that affected you and what are some of the things that you have heard being thrown at you?
So apparently a lot of people doesn't really know that I'm a single mom. They're like, she's too happy to be a single mom. Like, I don't need a man to make me happy at the same time. You know, like throughout my pregnancy, it was quite hush hush. So when I suddenly announced that I was pregnant, it shocked a lot of my friends, especially close friends, because not a lot of them know. And then they're like, oh, she's not dating before, who is it? So there's a lot of speculation, which is very good for publicity on my blog, because I choose to not know the gender of the baby for 9 months until childbirth. So it could be a boy named Christopher, or a girl, Chloe. So I had two names for two gender and came out a boy. So I would say when I was at the delivery ward, the nurse doesn't know the backstory. So she was very surprised. The first thing she said when she saw the baby was, "Wow, your baby's so white." Because the father is a British ginger. Okay, his red hair, you know, that pale, freckly, just cannot be in the sun, just horrible. So my baby came out very white, and then I am like tan skin because I like to swim and I can tan easily. So she was like so surprised. She didn't even tell me boy or girl. I don't even know boy or girl yet. She just said, "Wow, your baby's so white." I'm like, okay, that's great. So I had natural birth without epidural. It's very painful, but it was short and sweet. It was like an hour when I entered the delivery ward, and I came out after that. So it's very quick. It's 4 big push that I can never forget, but it won't stop me from having second baby in the future. And yeah, as you were saying, some people that would judge me, I don't really get a lot of judgment, because in fact a lot of my friends who are married, they tell me that they feel like they are a single mother because the father is working, the sole breadwinner. So at home for child caring is all the mother's duty. So they feel like very much like a single mom, which I feel is a bit sad to hear, because like you have another half, you're supposed to share everything, even though he's the sole breadwinner, but doesn't mean he would be spared of any child raising. So I don't know how it works because I'm a single mom, but I think they should speak with their other half a lot. Because if they feel like a single mom in a marriage, it's a red alert, I feel. So like I tell them. So they don't know how I manage it, being a single mom and no breadwinner, because I have no other half. It's like everything on me. I celebrate Mother's Day, Father's Day, dual role. I think the key would be to balance. Yeah, everything in balance. And the fact that I'm in a polyamorous relationships, I have multiple partners, the more I appreciate spending me time. Yeah, so in this case, like, that's why I go solo travel, because that's the time where I can recuperate and recover and have zero need to give anybody any other attention, just me. So when you have no demands of your attention from your partners or a partner or your babies, then that's the best for any moms, or even you don't have to be a mom, it can be just, yeah. So I feel me time is very important, and that's why I really advocate solo traveling, because you can really do anything you want. You want to walk to the left, you can go to the left. You want to walk to the right, you can walk. You can stop. You want to stop at this cafe, you want to, yeah, you have no one to discuss with anything. It's just up to you. So, yeah.
Yes, that's true.
And that's where I recover, rejuvenate myself, and I come home and I can give more. I'm a better woman, I would say.
Totally.
A better woman,
totally.
yeah, a better woman for my son and all my various multiple partners at the same time.
True. Thank you for sharing that, because I can totally relate with that. Being a mom, I'm actually I don't have live-in help, so I'm taking care of my kids full time, and then still trying to run my own business. And this is something that I always advocate. What you have just shared, have to have some me time, even if it's just for an hour. Get your facial done.
Yes.
Just so that you can center and be who you are, and then refill your cup so that you have more to give. And it's very, very important. And
Yes.
I applaud you for sharing that. And this is the takeaway.
Yeah.
And the thing is that, unfortunately, as what Martha has mentioned earlier, in Singapore, because we are still, the country, is still quite conservative in a way. And there's actually, in fact, from the government perspective, there wasn't a lot of support given to single moms, in fact. So, moms who are married, they have all these grants and all for school fees and so on and everything. For single moms, they don't get all this benefit at all. So this must have actually impacted you on a financial basis. And I think it's actually good for you that you actually mentioned it to other people, because when I felt that when your friend told you that they felt like a single mom, I felt that that is not being fair to you, because you have to think about how to bring the money home. And you mentioned that you were 6 months pregnant, and then you went to Hong Kong with your friend to do a hiking, right? Were you there to actually to announce the news to the father of your child?
No, the father knew about my pregnancy the minute I found out about it, about when I was 3 months pregnant, and he asked to meet me in person. And the funny thing is, I did meet him, and I went alone. And my friend was like, "Say, you crazy? What if he becomes unreasonable, and you might be in a dangerous state?" And I didn't bring a chaperone. That's what she called it, chaperone. In fact, the father brought a chaperone. He brought his friend, his flatmate, which I've met before. It's so ironic. So this 6 months pregnant woman go. It's a public place, yes, a restaurant, but still.
So what happened?
So we spoke, and obviously I'm visibly pregnant, and he doesn't believe the child is his, like in self-denial, the father, and the fact that maybe because I have a very sexually active lifestyle, to the point of the word could be used promiscuous, that he believed that the child is not his. Fair enough. So we only can do a paternity test after I give birth. But during pregnancy, you can also do a paternity test by injecting to get the fluid inside, but it's dangerous for the child. It might cause miscarriage, and it's more expensive at the same time. Yeah. So we had to wait. I'm very sure that he's the father, because I know what I do when I have sex.
True.
And I know who I didn't have safe sex with. Yeah. And it was only him.
Yeah. So is he in your son's life? Christian, that's his name?
Christopher,
yeah.
No, he's not. Very much absent.
Is he supportive, of him, of Christopher?
No, during my pregnancy, he tried to make me abort, so I cannot imagine that would change. Yeah, he told me to abort because we are not in a long-term relationship or whatever relationship, and he has no intention to marry me or whatever that sort. So I'm like, I'm keeping the baby and aborting you, I told him. Wow, at the same time, I'm gonna get child support. God knows how long I'm gonna get that, but yeah, I'm still trying to fight that case in Hong Kong. Yes, he has owed us 3 years of child support that amount to Singapore dollars about 20K now. It's not a lot per month, to be honest. Like, it's just a few hundred a month for his son. So I don't know. Maybe he's really having a hard time in Hong Kong. It's not easy living a life in Hong Kong. It's probably more fast-paced than in Singapore. More, you need to grind a lot. That's what I feel. And I don't know. I only like Hong Kong as a travel destination, but I would not want to live there.
Yes, I guess being a travel addict and a foodie yourself, definitely people go there for shopping, for food,
Yes, for food,
right?
exactly. Yes, yes.
Indeed.
It is
Yeah.
like it's similar to Singapore in the sense that it's a city as well. But Singapore is a bit sterile and there's a little bit grimy, which there's character in Hong Kong street character, grime and dirty,
True.
Singapore is like sterile.
Yeah, sterile.
A little bit.
And I
So
totally agree with you on that. I mean, what would be the most nastiest thing you have ever heard being said about you, for living your lifestyle?
in fact, it's my current partner's ex-wife back then. Now ex-wife, back then still wife, and she said that something about I'm a horrible mom and don't deserve to be a mother to my son or something along that line. Can't remember. It's like 3 years ago we had a bit of argument and she was very unkind.
Yeah. So how did that make you feel?
Like crap, shit. Like I don't even know you. How can you have such power over me on how I feel? Yeah. So it made me feel like shit, but it was short. Wow. Yeah, I'm like, you guys should separate. No, in my head, with my partner, my current partner, which is just evil as well. I don't say it, but even thinking about it is just pure evil. But then eventually they did divorce for over a year now. Oh, strange how life works. Yeah. So nasty.
So there's this saying, karma is a bitch, right? You just need to live long enough to see it. It's true. Sometimes you really, really live long enough to wait for things to come around. And there's this saying, right? You shouldn't wish bad on other people. But nowadays I notice you just don't have to wish anything. You just wait, and then things have a way of working out, including revenge. So for people out there watching this, I think they already get a sense of how beautiful you are, how strong you are, how positive you are, how healthy you are. And it's one thing to be the person that you are, beautiful, wonderful, amazing, and then you get all these attacks. How do you actually maintain this healthy thinking and living? Because I think a lot of us have a lot of setbacks and would really appreciate some advice maybe from someone so fun loving and healthy like yourself.
What is the X factor? Maybe because I'm naturally positive by nature, so it's easier. I'm not like trying very hard to be positive. There's also toxic positivity. You just omit all the negative feelings, which I think is not right. I actually go through with all the negativity and the bad emotions, frustration, anger. I go through them. I don't shut it aside or suppress it in any way. I release it, which I think everyone should try to release, not try to cover, because it might explode eventually. And I release by exercising, as you can see. In fact, during the circuit breaker, I exercised every day. I lost 3 kg, which is what the hell? A lot of my friends are putting on that 3 kg that I lost, so it's very funny. Yeah, a lot of my friends are putting on the weight. They say, I cannot believe 2 months you can lose. And like, I don't know, it's just driving me crazy being at home. And I just exercise, you get the endorphin release, the natural endorphin, which is great for me and, mentally. And I do a lot of yoga for like emotional, physical, and mental stability. I think yoga is great. And I mix it up with all the HIIT and some hardcore nonsense. And I do a lot of exercise at home with my son, which is great bonding too. And at the same time we bond, I teach him that fitness is important because every day during circuit breaker, he see me exercising in the morning. Okay, sometimes he doesn't do with me. It's okay. He's at the side playing his toys. But he sees that mom is doing it every day. It must be something important. So he will grow up with the impression that fitness is important. That's how you teach a value to your son or a skill or anything, by setting an example. So I feel a lot of parents don't set example very much. Like if you want them to focus on something, you have to focus at the same time, not being on your phone or your tablet while your child have to do the focusing. You focus together. And so during the circuit breaker, my son does a lot of ballet and judo class weekly. Okay, so he's getting his fitness and physical activity done, which is good for him because what I want him to learn is discipline and focus. It's not about the ballet, plie, and the splits. No, it's not very much a skill, but the values he learned in discipline, focus, paying attention to the coach on Zoom, which is amazing because he is able to focus for half an hour to 45 minutes for the class, which any 3-year-old is very difficult for any 3-year-old. Very is super difficult, and he managed to master that, which is great. I'm very proud of him, and I think the difference is I am with him throughout his class. So I am not like doing other stuff while I leave my child to the coach, which a lot of parents do that when they bring the kids to the ballet class. They will leave the daughter or son at the class and then go shopping. Same, I would not do that. If I bring him to a class, I will actually sit there and watch him and clap, because the only acknowledgement and encouragement he needs is me. My most important encouragement and clap is from me. And confidence, that will build his confidence. It's not only the coach. The coach is secondary for him to gain that confidence. Then he'll grow up to be a confident person. So it's all fed from the parent to the child. You literally have to feed them confidence. Like, you can't put it on a spoon and feed them. But you know what I mean? You just have to be present and give whatever form of encouragement. Even at home when he pee, I also clap. Do you see the level of... No, really, even at home when he pee or poo-poo successfully, I clap. Well done, good job, which I have the habit already. I cannot stop as well. I just naturally would do that. Every little things, oh, you finish your egg, oh, well done, you know. This is so important for them to know that what they're doing is good. It's like, yeah. And so now my son, when I pee and he's with me in the toilet, he clapped for me.
Well done.
See what I've done right there? I think I've done something right there for him to actually do that. And when my like brother brings him to the male toilet, because I can't, he will clap when my brother pee. My brother told me, I'm like, oh my god, that is too funny. I thought it was only me, but yeah, it applies to everybody in the toilet, I guess. Yeah,
that's wonderful. Supportive.
That's wonderful. Exactly,
yeah.
Supportive, and he will clap. Yeah. Yes. He will smile at you and clap.
Yeah. So I want to acknowledge you, Janice, because we all know it's hard enough to raise a child, and to be a single mom is even harder. And to be judged by people is so hard. So I think as a society, we should just stop doing it to other people, especially since, you know, we are human beings and we can relate with other people. So I just want to add that I think you're a fantastic mom. I really do. I can see how well adjusted your child is and how confident your child is. And that is because you have put in a lot of time, effort, sacrifices. Your heart is in the right place. So there's this saying, right? It's not how many parents you have or what is the sexual orientation of your parent. It has to do with how much love the child has. And I feel that your heart is in the right place. So I really want to acknowledge that. The next thing is I want to ask, because I'm sure people are wondering, what is Janice talking about? What partners? How many partners does Janice have? What does polyamory mean? So could you explain this to people out there?
So polyamory is having multiple loving romantic partners. So it sounds like a Google definition, but yeah, it is what it is. So meaning poly means many and amory means love, so just many love. So I have currently have 2 partners, and one is living in Hong Kong, which is not the father. I'm make it clear because a lot of people get confused because I mentioned father is in Hong Kong, so is that the partner is in them? No. I completely have no, the father is not in our life. So, and I have a partner in Singapore as well. And recently, one of my partner in America proposed sometime last year. Was it last year? No, sorry, 2 years ago. But last year, he wanted to change the dynamic of the relationship and close the relationship to traditional. and we tried to meet halfway but couldn't. Yeah, we tried to negotiate, you know. He was like, I will migrate you and your son and live American life. I'm like, that is very selfish because he knows that I have other partners that I've invested time and emotions on. So it's very unfair to just make me cut out all of them and then go to a foreign land with no friends and family. So it's just, he said, isn't that enticing enough? I'm like, no, it's not enticing. It doesn't work for me. I very much want you to be in my life, but if we can't meet halfway, we can't. So in fact, he stopped talking. We stopped talking. He blocked me off for a good 9 months-ish. And last December, he said, Happy New Year. I'm like, what's his deal? What is his deal? You know, what happened in the 9 months where he was not talking to me? Something must have happened. And before that as well, what has happened? Because suddenly he wants to change. He must be feeling insecure about something that he wants to cage me and make me cut everyone else. Yeah, so we tried to talk, but it wasn't enough. And then he blocked me off again this year. I'm like, I'm not gonna wait till strike 3 to strike you off. 2 strikes, you're out already. I don't know what he wants. And the thing is, he has three ex-wives. And he has 6 children from these 3 ex-wives. I asked him, so what makes you think if we go traditional monogamous free marriage, I will not make the 4th ex-wife? Then he told me he still haven't found the right one then.
No one is the right one in this case. No one is the right one. They say easy come, easy go, right?
Exactly.
Just going around collecting wives.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's this power dynamic, you know.
I thought so too.
If they are dysfunctional, then they go around causing great distress to other people. Anyway, I'm glad that this person is out of your life. So these 2 partners that you have, I assume they all know about each other, and how do they feel?
So my local boyfriend sometimes get jealous about my other boyfriend in Hong Kong. So jealousy is a very common thing, and I do get jealous about my partners as well. Metamors, we call it. And yeah, they know about each other's existence, but they would not want to meet each other, which is a shame because I think they'll get along very well. Yeah. So and my partner in Hong Kong is I would say my sexual soulmate. And it's very drastic that my partner in Singapore is non-sexual, our relationship nature. Yeah. So yeah,
that's very interesting.
I know it is.
Yeah.
We
so
actually
how
talk
do
about
you
it.
deal with it? How do you deal with it? I mean, okay, the fact that because of COVID, you know, and then the traveling isn't allowed. So how do you maintain the balance between these 2 partners?
So I didn't get to see them for months, circuit breaker as well. I didn't get to see the local one too. So we have to do it virtually, everything.
Then how do you deal with all this jealousy, you know, being back and forth? I mean, the thing is that because, you know, you have a lot on the plate, obviously, being a single mom, having to raise a child, and then you have your partners and having all these emotional episodes. How do you deal with all these outbursts?
I read that jealousy, frustration, or anger, it's sign of fear. So I'm afraid of something. So whenever I feel that way, I would think deep, like reflect, like what am I afraid of? Why am I feeling jealous? Or why am I angry? So sometimes with the Hong Kong partner, he has his sexual flings as well while he's in Hong Kong where we are apart. Is a fear of being replaced. So that's why I get jealous. So we do a lot of so when I feel uncomfortable, insecure, he will reassure me, and then we go on the same cycle, and 3 years pass. So we've been doing this long distance relationship for 3 years. And I would say that if I've taken the traditional route and said, oh, you are overseas, you're in Hong Kong, I'm in Singapore, long distance is too difficult, we will not be in the same country anytime soon, this relationship will not work, then I would have missed out the most fulfilling and sexually gratifying relationship of my life. Like, this is really my sexual soulmate, to the point that I am currently just uninterested in other men sexually. I can go out with dates, dinner dates, and that's it. I come home. I don't end up in their beds. I just am I'm not asexual, but I'm just not interested in having sex with other men, and only with my partner in Hong Kong for almost a year now. So since last year, sometime July, it just suddenly my sexual appetite for other men just dropped some ways. So either I changed, because the relationship didn't change. It's still sexual by nature. It's just me. Yes, so now it's quite hard because of the COVID-19. I can't get to see him every other month. We used to see each other every 2 months. So in a year, we could see each other 6 times or more, depending how lucky we are. But now 6 months apart is the longest time we've been not seeing each other, like face to face, physically touching. Virtual, we do FaceTime and we call and we do have phone sex. But it's very different from the real thing. But at least it try to mold or bring us together emotionally still, the gap. So we try to do that as much. I mean, we do have problems as well, but all relationships have problems.
Okay.
Yeah, one way or another, depending on the intensity.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Can I play devil's advocate and just ask? People must be wondering, since you have 2 partners, why don't you just choose the one that you're more compatible with? Why do you make life hard for yourself by having multiple partners, and then they get jealous, and then you have to deal with your jealousy and all these things? So Chinese would say 自找的啦，你自找麻烦是吗？ Are you seeking trouble for yourself? So of course I know the answer, but I want to hear this from you, right?
Yeah, okay. So I used to try to look for the right one. Like, I have a checklist to meet that this certain person has to have this, whatever character and traits. And I realized that person don't exist. It exists in several men that I meet. I feel like, if I could mash them all up together to one man, I'll gladly be monogamous. But unfortunately, that's impossible. They are all different and they are in different countries. So, 自找麻烦. Yeah, it sounds like it, but I feel very fulfilled having multiple partners now than I have before, when I was monogamous and I had one partner at a time, like a serial monogamous. So I just jumped from one person, and each of them took 2-3 years of my youth. And I'm like, it's gone. And I'm like, now I'm gonna focus on these few people who might not be in my life for very long, but we try. And one thing for sure is, in this relationship with them, we consciously choose to be in each other's life daily. Okay, it's a daily conscious decision we make. It is not a vow I said 10 years ago that I don't even remember today. So if that's not romantic, I don't know what is. Yeah, so I'm very grateful that they still want me to be in their life, because it can get really quite intense with some of them, the problems. As for me, I never once, like when I hit an obstacle in these relationships with them, I never once thought of going back to being monogamous, which is a comfort zone. Because I feel that only when you feel uncomfortable, that's when you're growing. Yeah.
Wow, thank you. This is actually quite profound, because what I hear from what you said, you know, what I took from that was choosing to love. It doesn't matter which partner. I mean, let's put it this way. Sometimes, you know, people have a in a monogamous relationship, they break up and then they move on to another one. So to me, it's no difference. And if everybody are adult about it and choose a particular way of living, and that's being true to yourself, and also this choosing, because the things, a lot of people in a monogamous relationship, they don't choose They don't choose to be the person. They did it out of obligation. So, and what really hit me from what you shared was, it's you live to please yourself, not for everybody else. And this is my takeaway. Thank you for sharing that.
No problem.
Yeah.
Thank you. I am happy because I'm doing what I want to do. It's not like my mom raised me as a Catholic. So it's like I'm supposed to give my virginity to my husband. So you see, my background is so, I would say, very traditional. And I don't know what went wrong. Maybe what went right instead. Okay, don't see it as what went wrong. It's like I discovered myself, and that's the path I should take. So 5 years ago, before I embarked on this polyamorous journey, she said to me, I read too much about this alternative lifestyle, love and life that I am following. Like monkey see, monkey do. I don't know. I don't know. I have no answer for her because, okay, that's what she thinks. So, and now after 5 years, she just tells me, do what makes you happy. So I think support of the family is also very important.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. So I think one misconception is just because you have two partners right now, one you're sexual with and one you are not sexual with, that one is better than another. That's not true. I think emotionally you are connected to both of them, and it's almost as if we think of love as something that is exclusive or that's a right way and wrong way. But as you rightly pointed out, it is about you being very conscious about what you're doing and not trying to tie someone or bond them just for the sake of it. And I think a lot of people chose the route of marriage for security, for fear of losing out. And this security can change at any time. People get divorces as well. And so I'm glad actually from your conscious thinking and reading and reflection, even your parents, your mom is coming around to understanding the unconditional nature of love. And it's very evident, to see that you're happy, you are glowing, you are beautiful. What other proof do we need other than if this person is my friend? I just want her to be happy. And so this is what I see in you. You are truly happy. And I think a lot of people think people in open relationships are dysfunctional, must have a reason why. Perhaps that is, like you said, this is your true self. So
Yes.
Is there any concluding words that you want to add, Janice?
Concluding words. Find your own way to love. You don't have to follow mainstream media or your peers or anything like that, which is, I know, can be pressurizing at the same time. But like, I think a lot of people don't look at themselves first and love themselves first before they can love other people. I think you just have to love yourself so much that your love is overflowing, that you have so much love for other people. That's why I have multiple partners, because I just have too much love to give, and I feel fulfilled giving love and receiving it at the same time. So that's my nature. I'm not trying to like fight with monogamy or anything. No, in fact, I'm trying to unlearn and reprogram my mind, my monogamous mind, for the past 5 years, very slowly. Sometimes I do have some traditional kick, like myself, because the jealousy is really very monogamous way of thinking, and then I just talk myself out of it, that love is not like binding somebody to yourself sexually or emotionally in whatever way. In fact, me and my local partner is non-sexual, yes, but I also feel that non-sexual physical touches is as equally important as the sexual ones. You need to have a balance of both. Yeah, so balance is the key to everything in life, in fact.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing so much of yourself, for being able to come here and literally bear all. Thank you, Janice. Just one more time, if you can do a shout out to our audience here, how do they get in touch with you?
You can follow my Instagram handle at Janiqueel, Janiqueel, or my blog as well, .com.
And-
Just add, yeah.
which is janiqueel.com.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on to the show. And thank you, Martha, for being my co-host on Bear All as well. And thank you, everybody,
Thank
for
you.
tuning in to this episode of Bear All. We'll see
Thank
you
you.
on the next episode. Goodbye.